and one.
Welcome to the Healthy Brotherhood Experience. My name is Lucia Boyd out of Detroit, Michigan. Today I got two co-hosts with me. I got Darryell Randle out of the Detroit area also. And we also got JT Hale out of the ATL.
You know. You know, and we got a special guest tonight out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Big things going on in Cincinnati. Welcome to the Healthy Brotherhood Experience, Brother Bryan Smith, captain of the Cincinnati chapter of Black Men Run. How you doing, Bryan?
Good evening, brothers. I'm doing great. I cannot complain. We are so close, less than 30 days away to the Flying Pig Marathon. So I'm at that point where now, and you probably remember what it was like when you were a kid, right? Right before your birthday or maybe the night before a big event, you know, the holidays, you're waiting for that present. It's time to open these presents, and that's what it is. Yeah. I'm getting ready for Awards Day, so very, very excited about it. Yeah.
Countdown. Let the countdown begin.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into Cincinnati, Bryan, I want to let the brothers know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you just recently become captain?
It's been less than a year, believe it or not. Yeah,
less than a year. Okay,
just happened. Yeah, here in Cincinnati. So yeah, just learning the ropes, and it was very interesting how this happened because at that point I had also just completed my first marathon. So this is all new, taking it all in, new job, new running, doing things, and let's take on a new responsibility as well. You know.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now, how long you been in the Brotherhood, the Black Men Run Brotherhood?
I started running with the Black Men Run there with the previous captain. That was probably right in the middle or towards the end of 2021, somewhere in there, or 22. It wasn't that long at all, honestly.
Okay.
Had to have been 22, come to think of it. Had to have been, because there's no way it would have been before that. So yeah, it was 22.
All right. Not too long. Just getting your feet wet. And the next thing we know, you are in the role of El Capitan.
Brother, listen, I think my right big toe was just getting wet, and then boom, it was that. So it's all good. I'm in it, and very excited to do this. You know.
So far, tell me what you have learned and figured out walking in these captain shoes, because they're big when you first put them on, but as you start walking into it, they start to fit a little better.
First and foremost, what I learned is that it's not about me. And you have to be readily available. Expect there are going to be a lot of days, more days than you want, of you being out there by yourself or maybe just one other runner. And then there will be days where 10 people or 10 brothers will show up. And what do? You get in there and you make people realize, you know, why you all are there. What do you have in common? And that is honestly just to build some type of bond. It's been quite a journey for me because this running thing is still something I'm still, I guess I would say, getting used to. I began running for real, seriously, I guess, in 2017 when I accidentally signed up for the half marathon here for the Flying Pig. So, but I would tell you what I'm noticing being with the Brotherhood is you have that, what do you call that, storming, norming, and performing stage. And I think we're still at that forming stage right now. At this time, I'm more like a sponge. You know, I had the opportunity to attend the 10-year anniversary last year. And this is where I had the opportunity just to talk with other brothers, you know, connected with some of you all. And this is where I got a lot of encouragement that basically said, listen, some of these chapters took 10 years to build. So, you know, be patient, you know, give yourself grace. And, you know, at this point, the best advice I think I received was when I spoke with Brother Armstrong. And this is when he shared, you know, when brothers say, hey, I can't make it, just say, hey, when's the time you can run? Let's go on your time. And so looking forward to that. And I will admit tonight, I did not go running. It was raining. I didn't want to get my hair messed up, and I wanted to be ready.
All right.
I do see we go to the same barber there, brother. I don't know how he's. Hey,
I ain't trying to mess up my perm, man.
Right.
Yeah, be honest. And what's in the top is the right here, that beard. You know what I'm messing with that beard. We had to get right for tonight with that beard.
Listen, this will be a whole that's a whole other episode, brother. But yes, definitely, you got to make sure you keep this together.
So
sir.
Lucier is also co-captain of the Detroit chapter. Darryell has also you've served as co-captain for Detroit?
No, I was
And
head captain.
Head
I was
captain.
he was
head captain. Yeah,
Captain
I was
for
head
Detroit.
captain. Yeah.
I've also served as captain for the Atlanta chapter. And it is a challenge. It was easy for me because, we got a great group of guys and it's already really a well-oiled machine. But yeah, it can be challenging. Lean on your brother captains, lean on the guys there in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Hit us up if you need to. So since you said less than a year you've been captain, man, what kind of goals have you kind of set for the chapter, or are you still in the building phase?
Last year I was very overzealous. When I first had the call with Brother Castle, he was like, hey, I want us to be at least by 20 or 30 deep by the beginning of 2024. And here we are. We're going to actually have our first meetup actually on tomorrow, but it is anticipated some severe weather, but I'm still going to be out there, rain or shine, just to see what happens, see if any brothers will show up. I would tell you for now, we do have a set time. It's every other Thursday that we do meet at Esoteric Brewery. And again, running season just started, aside from me training for this full marathon, which I started in January.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, having that consistency, people know, they already see a calendar that's going to be out from now through the start of fall. And so I'm confident, on some of these Thursdays when it's pretty nice out. And the good thing is it's connected to a nice part of town. It's places to eat around in that spot. Also, it's the back of it, it's it's basically inside a brewery, excuse me. And inside that brewery, there's also places to grab things to eat. And there's a trivia night that usually happens on the night when it's happening there as well. We typically take up the very back patio, as well as there's a back room as well. And we have snacks, we fellowship, and we talk. We are in collaboration with Run United here. And so that's a spot, basically an easier way for us to just connect. And, as we are connected with, well, I'm not saying connect, but we fellowship with Black Girls Run at that time as well. And so we're like, hey, sisters, don't forget, tell your husband to come out, your brothers, your nephews, whatever. And so at times they'll bring a brother with them. And as of right now, again, like I said, definitely at that forming stage. And so definitely, keeping in mind that there's going to be days where, like I said, I'd be the only person there. And other times, we have that surprise. But that's just where we are right now, currently here in Cincinnati.
Okay. All right. Cincinnati getting it done, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Brother Darryell, I
Yes,
know
sir.
you've been working with Brother Bryan here on our next, this is Black Men Run regional race number 2, the Cincinnati Flying Pig, obviously in Cincinnati, man. So how has the planning been for this regional?
Well, first I want to say, to Captain Smith and our other captains who've been in their tenure for a short amount of time, just like in that, that famous baseball movie where it's The Natural, when they say, when dude said, if I build it, they would come. That is true. That is a truth, because like you mentioned, I was the head captain of the Detroit chapter for about 3 years, and there were times where it was just me out there, but I stayed consistent, because I knew that the guys were coming, our schedules all over the place. And, it was kind of difficult to try to get everyone at the same time. But, what happened was the growth didn't come from the actual running and racing. It came from the camaraderie. Once we started saying, well, after our group runs, we would do a monthly meetup where we would actually break bread afterwards. And that wasn't really being done a lot in our organization. It was maybe a couple of other chapters were doing it. And now it's a mainstay. And that's what helped our growth of our organization, is the brotherhood, the camaraderie we get together and do our races and our training and things of that sort. But, it's the camaraderie that's what's really important here. So like you mentioned, I was the head captain. Now I'm been the vice, one of the national vice captains and the IT director for quite a few years now, since 2019. And I'm a member of the SLT, our senior leadership team, or what we like to say our servant leadership team. The reason we chose the Flying Pig, JT and the rest of the SLT, is because Captain Smith and his chapter is a growing chapter, and we wanted to reward him for taking on the helm of that area. So we heard about the Flying Pig. I had been hearing the buzz about Flying Pig for a few years. So we decided to bring back our regional meetups, and instead of calling it the Midwest, we did the Central. So it's more than just the Midwest. We have Florida, Nashville, Louisville, and then all of the Midwest. But everyone in our organization, East, West, South, is invited, and we have quite a few chapters attending. So like you said, this is our second event. And the first one was the Selma to Montgomery relay, which was great, and it's always great. Also here at the Flying Pig, and you can jump in here, Mr. Smith, Captain Smith, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith. I'm thinking of the movie, me and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Captain Smith. But I'm hearing that, the festival is a weekend of festival. It's fun, and it's also challenging because the half marathon is hilly. So I'm looking forward to experiencing that. I'm participating in the 10K because, being down there, it's a lot going on. We have to host an event. And I was shocked when I heard you was doing the marathon. I said, this brother don't know. When you host an event, you don't do a full marathon.
Wait a minute. That's the marathon you're doing, Bryan?
Yes, sir. Yeah, this will be my second one.
Okay.
So,
listen, I'm confident it's gonna get done. We get things done here, so it's all good.
but the cool thing is, quite a few of us are doing the 10K, so we're going to be at the finish line, help supporting the people, the guys who participating in the half marathon. So, just like our local weekly meetups, our regional and national meetups are about camaraderie first.
Yeah.
So that we bring that heat when it's time to race, and we show out. But first and foremost is the brotherhood.
Yes.
So I ask anyone who has never experienced our regional and national meetups, I advise you to sign up and take part and celebrate the brotherhood. You would not be disappointed.
Believe it.
Strongly agree. And I do want to add, so I will be participating in the 10K as well. That's the day before the full marathon. So I will be there Saturday. I will be doing the 10K as well as the 5K that's after that. And the night before that, I will be doing the 1 miler as well. I'm getting it's called the 4-way with extra cheese. So yeah, I'll be doing all of it.
That is some extra cheese.
Yeah.
That is some extra cheese.
Blue Star, I need Bryan to turn around and show us his cake, man.
That's a triple whopper. That's a triple whopper. I need you to turn
around and show us your Superman cape, dude.
Man, he's an ultra runner, man. He holding back. He know he's supposed to be doing 50Ks and 50 miles.
Well, you know what? There's in true transparency, I did sign up for my very first 50K this year, which I'm going to be completing. So yeah, now that I guess the cat is out the bag.
I thought
y'all said we was gonna get comfortable here, but man, I didn't expect to release that. But I did sign up for that. It's called the tie-dye 50K, and it's located in Yellow Springs, Ohio. I've never done 50K, so I will be making history again this year. I don't know what it is, brothers, and I'm sure you all can agree. It's like when you get past the age of 40, you decide to do something bigger and better each year. And so last year was the marathon, so I guess I want to impress myself a little bit more. And here we are with the 50K. I mean, next year maybe I'll skydive or take a flight. I don't know. We'll just see.
next year's the miler. You doing right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh man, I don't know about it, man. Alabama. Hey, I enjoyed Alabama, but I did 17 miles of that. I don't know, 51. Woo!
That
I do
Tucker
tip my
did
hat to those that do it.
okay.
I'll come and skydive with you. I ain't doing no 50.
you you gonna
I'm,
jump out of a perfectly good plane, JT?
yes, sir. I'll jump out of a plane.
That is something that's on my bucket list. I know this was not
Me
on
too.
script and something you all didn't plan on talking about, but that is something I would love to
That's
do is one day
that's a
Yeah,
good
skydive.
one.
yeah. There's no script on this show.
No. A bucket list is good to have, man, especially as you get older. You know, not everybody's reaching these milestone ages.
Yeah.
So, you know, as an appreciation for, you know, getting where we are, and it's not always due to our own doing. Let's celebrate where we are, still being here to do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think
Things like
everybody's challenge is personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it depends on what you like to do. You know, some people want to run 50, some people want to run 100. You know, some people just want to just do 5Ks. So, you know, we have triathletes in the organization, cyclists. I think it's personal and individualized.
It is.
So do your thing, Captain Smith.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Well, yeah, and I do agree with you. I think a lot of this is what I've learned most importantly about just running and having these continued conversations is, for one, definitely take care of yourself, but for two, your biggest competition is what you look at and see every day in the mirror.
That's it.
And if there's anything different than that, then you need to search harder and see what is it that's bothering you, because you are your biggest competition. Seriously,
Yeah.
I don't care how you put it. And your biggest obstacle too, right? Your biggest cheerleader and your biggest obstacle too. If I give anybody any advice, I would say get out of your own way. If I would have done that 10 years ago, man, where I'd be.
I say
Yeah.
that all the time, bro.
You
Get
know?
out of your own way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
At the same time, be your biggest cheerleader.
Absolutely.
You can do both at
Yeah.
the same time. That's
Yeah.
awesome,
Now,
man.
I did want to add this one thing regarding the flying pig. Now, I'm not sure if you all are keeping up with the news and what's been trending, but as of April 3rd, USA Today ranked us as the #1 marathon right now. So
Oh, wow.
definitely take a
Wow.
look at that. So yeah, and as you all come here, you're going to see the support just all throughout the streets. I mean, this is a big deal. That Friday night, it is a party. If you are a person that enjoys oat and barley or whatever they make beer with, it's a lot of that'll be passed around on that night. They partied up very big on that Friday night. Saturday again for that 10K. It's more of a it'll be more of a light jog, and then that 5K, seriously, it is going to be so packed, it is just walking only. So if you have the time and if you haven't signed, I'm not sure if the 5K is closed yet, but that is an easy extra medal you can just get as long as you're back at that start line by, I believe it's 9 o'clock is when they start the 5K, because the 10K and the 5K are back to back on that Saturday, and they start in the same spot too, which is another thing about the pig this year. Everything is down at the banks again this year, and so it's all in the same spot. So it's very hard to get lost or anything like that.
Okay.
Have
Yeah.
you done the Cincinnati Flying Pig before?
Myself, yeah. So
Yeah.
actually, that's when I started. Was in 2017 when I the intent was just to sign up. I think it was for a 5K or a 10K. I didn't know that. Okay, I'm gonna admit it. A brother struggled with math. Okay, and I just didn't know what was what when I signed up. The only math I paid attention to was when I forked over that money, because I was trying to beat the midnight deadline, so it wouldn't go up to like $90 or something. And so that's when I realized I signed up for a half marathon. And after that, I needed to buy shoes. How I fell into this is interesting. So ended up talking. It was an employee of mine at UC, place I used to work at before I took on this job at the bank, University of Cincinnati. One of my employees, she had shared with me, hey, if you're going to be a Cincinnatian, you at least have to go to the Flying Pig. And I was like, well, what's that? And she was like, oh, it's a race. And I was like, well, I used to run in high school. I don't want to just stand there and watch people run. I want to run too. And so accidentally signed up for the half. Then another colleague said, hey, there's a running store. Why don't you check them out for shoes? I went in there to buy shoes. And that's when the gentleman who was over 80 years old shared with me that he's been running and still was doing half marathons himself. And I'm like, well, wait a minute now. If this guy can still do this at his age, I can still do it. And he handed me a schedule. And that's where it's been ever since then. So I've been running consistently since then, at least 2 times a week since 2017.
So guys, did y'all catch that when he said he accidentally signed up for the half marathon?
Yeah, I did not mean to.
You did
He
not mean
tripped.
so.
He
Yeah,
tripped into
get
a
an
half
explanation
marathon.
on that. How does that happen, man?
Listen, I wasn't paying attention. It was like I was more so concerned about trying to beat a deadline to not pay too much money for a race and didn't realize that I had signed up for a half. And after that, I was like, man, prime example of, I guess, at times they say read the instructions, read the directions, pay attention to the waivers. I guess in this particular instance, it worked out for my good. So I guess I won't really complain about that.
Right.
I've signed up for the wrong race before, completely, totally different rock and roll. I signed up for Clearwater, St. Pete, and I was supposed to be signing up for Salt Lake City, Utah. Two
Oh,
totally
wow.
different states. Didn't realize until I got my confirmation.
Oh,
Like, what the hell?
Oh man, I did something like that. I signed up for it was a 5K, but I thought it was a 10K. So it was like within the last mile, I realized it was a 5K, and I changed gears into my 5K pace, 5K pace, and people was like, "Man, he just took off." I realized I was in a total. Man, that was funny than a mug.
I guess it's gonna happen at least once to all of us at some point. You're gonna sign up.
Yeah. Oh boy, ever had happened to me? The only thing that's happened, a race where it was supposed to be a five. I was participating in 5K, and they didn't have a route right, and I ended up going left when everybody was supposed to go right, and we ended up going left, and it turned into a 10K. And like you, Lou, I was running at a 5K pace, and then see the finish line was supposed to be near this high school, and yeah, I was looking at the high school. I was like, "Where's the finish line?" Oh, the volunteer they messed up the route. Oh, great! I'm burned
Wow.
out now. I thought I was about to PR.
What race was that, Darryell?
Oh, the one that's Grovedale in March. Oh, Rock CF.
Oh, Roxy F. Okay.
Yeah, and you know how cold and windy. Oh, that
Oh,
was that time we went together. That was the time we went together.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my,
remember?
that was crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Do
Hey,
you guys have an idea of those registered? How many of the BMR brothers are coming for Cincinnati?
I haven't seen the latest stats. How about you, Captain Smith?
I'm not aware of how, just by word of mouth, I don't have an actual count at this time.
Okay. All right.
Do you know which chapters?
I know for sure Brother Jenkins in Baltimore have said something. Of course, I anticipate Nashville will be in here. You know, it's Brother Demetrius Short's chapter.
Oh yeah.
I
That's
know,
his home. We're gonna be there.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating a nice showing of them and some brothers from I know some Louisville. Believe it was a Louisville brother I talked to. Said that he'd be here as well.
And
Aside from
Detroit
that,
definitely would be there. The Divas
yes.
would definitely be there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of other Detroit people I had the opportunity of talking to at Selma, and believe I convinced some others to show up. So we'll see if they're actually coming.
All right. How's
Yeah.
the planning been for you guys, especially Darryell, with you being in Detroit?
It's been off and on. I've been super busy, so Bryan has taken care of majority of it. Just following up with him, making sure he doesn't need anything.
Listen, he has been attentive with that. You're definitely a list person, a checklist kind of brother. So I do appreciate that, and definitely kept things grounded for me. And so currently, I do anticipate talking a little bit more regarding our social that'll be on that Saturday. That's going to be at Esoteric Brewery, which was intentional because that is the spot where BMR typically meets every other Thursday. So you'll have an opportunity not only just to have a chance to fellowship, but just see where our I guess stomping grounds are, if you will, of where we are currently, what we do, and just the people that we interact with and the people that do support BMR. So I think that'll be a great opportunity. And so, like I said, there's food spots that are located in there as well. And so, again, you'll enjoy it. It is a local brewery. Is fairly new. It does a lot, and so I think it'll be a great experience.
Awesome, man.
Mhm.
I wish I could be there. I won't be able to be there. I had hopes to attend that one. Things come up. But that's all good. It sounds like you're gonna have a pretty good turnout. Sound like you guys are gonna have a great weekend in Cincinnati, man, and especially doing all three races for those who are doing all three races, like Brother Bryan Smith here, as well as the rest of the guys. Something definitely to look forward to. Lucille, are you going to Cincinnati?
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Me and
You'll be there?
Darryell, we'll be there with Romero down there putting it down, and a few other
Yeah.
brothers coming. We got who else is coming? Dwayne coming. Is Dwayne and
Let's put it this way. It's going to be a Detroit takeover.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge, Bryan.
Listen, just keep
All right,
your
so
Lions
territory.
Listen, you're coming to Bengals territory, so be careful. All right,
Let 'em know.
I do want to say, look, we
Let 'em know.
do I gotta bring?
bring our Lions hoodies.
Hey, it's all good, but you know what? I'm not even going front now. Here, although I am in Bengal country, I do keep my cheese head on deck. So
that's the enemy. We're not worried about Cincinnati.
listen, I have been a diehard Packers fan since I was a kid. I went to Lambeau for the first time last November. And that's an experience I'll never forget, and I definitely have to do it again. So I guess when it comes to that, we will not be, I guess, in the same room when it comes to football.
we gonna take that Central Division like we did this year. So we hold on to that title.
All right, so we're here to talk about running, right, brother? So
we talk about
among
everything.
other things. Among other things.
But yeah, we talk about everything. Go ahead, JT. I'm sorry.
I'm just tickled. Okay. Y'all are funny, man. Lucille, you had any questions for Bryan?
Bryan, I'm just excited to come down there and just enjoy myself. I never really spent time in Cincinnati personally, and we have a lot of people in the metro area, Detroit, that talk about the Flying Pig. Matter of fact, last year you guys had I believe it was a crazy flood going on that some guys showed me some videos of, man.
Oh,
yeah. So I got to show you, aside from my medal, one of the things I'm most proud of is this little souvenir they gave us. Hold on. This went around town. They called it the floating pig. So this was a badge of honor because in true transparency, in some parts of this race, well, there was actually a shelter in place that was sent out. I had no idea about it until the race was over. I was done. Walking to my car, I had just greeted my mom and stepdad, and I was like, all right, y'all, let's go on and get out of here. I'm tired. And that's when I get this notification there was a shelter in place. At some parts of the race, there was lightning going across the street. And in my brain, I was like, look, this is my first marathon. It's going to take Jesus himself coming down here and saying, all right, Bryan, you need to go home. I was not going to not finish that run. I didn't care. I was going to finish. So, yeah, it was at one point there was water. I was ankle deep running in water. Did not care. I was going to finish.
What mile did that hit you at?
It was at the very beginning. I probably was right. I had just gotten out of Cincinnati, to be honest with you. It was pouring right after we started. So I was well at the start of the run. So it couldn't have been no more than what, mile 3 or 4, somewhere in there. It was very early. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of people pulling out and quitting?
Well, I learned that after the fact, because the corral I went in, I felt like I was kind of in the middle. And so I guess it was the people that behind me that were actually pulled off the course. And I think I was just too far ahead.
Okay.
I had just passed where the Northern Kentucky area, I had just passed that area where I guess that's when the lightning really started happening again. And that's when, people were told to shelter in place. So some people just did not finish the race at all. Some just went home and others just waited and then they continued. So there was a major delay on some of the times. And so for me, though, I'm just going to admit, I'm not a very big person, as y'all could probably see. I'm a small person. Going against that type of wind and rain, there was a lot of resistance. And so the goal was to get below 5 hours. I did not, unfortunately. I finished it in 5 hours and 10 minutes. And I'm determined to get below 5 hours. I'm going to do it this year. So, yeah.
Hey, as long as you completed it, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was somebody?
Absolutely.
I have a question. Was somebody at the finish line giving out medals still when you got there?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were there for a while. I mean, there were plenty of runners that were finishing behind me. So you know, my I think you have until what 6 o'clock at night to get the marathon completed. And at least I think I don't know. I'm not out there that late, but I know for sure, yeah, they're there pretty much until the last runner is there. They're
They're
handing out
giving you
medals.
about what, 7 hours to complete it, I guess.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I completely forgot about the flood until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so this is motivation as well too. I look at my little floating pig sticker when when I have those not so good runs. Because I'll admit, this past Saturday was probably, if I had to write my worst run ever, it was this Saturday. But I know exactly what I did. You know what I didn't do. I didn't pay attention to the schedule. I didn't realize it until 2 o'clock the afternoon before that I had a 20 miler to do the next day. I didn't drink any water for real. They
Woo.
messed up my pasta order at Red Lobster the night before. I mean, it was a lot of factors. I didn't stretch, I didn't sleep well, and so I got out there and I mean, I finished it. I was crawling, but I finished my 20 miles on this past Saturday. So
Yeah.
yeah.
When you hit
That's
the
it.
20-mile mark, they say the rest is downhill. So I'm told. I have no
Yeah.
idea because I ain't done it.
Yeah. Captain,
It's
Cap,
called the wall. You hit that
that's
wall, and
it.
at that point, they say the first 20 is with your body, and the last is with your heart. And so I'll admit,
Yeah.
last year, I admittedly called my mother. She was here in Cincinnati because I called her and my stepdad. I was like, "What y'all doing?" I was like, I'm just walking." I said, "At this point, I can't believe my legs are still moving. I know they're moving because I'm still going forward, but I was done, brothers. But I was done. But
I tip
I'm
my
crazy
hat
enough to
to you.
sign up and do it again."
Yeah.
Well, we're
Oh
gonna
Hey,
yeah.
keep
Captain.
our fingers crossed and pray for great weather, no
Yeah.
floods,
Yes.
sunshine, cool air, all of that you need for a good race day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice overcast and a little misty. This has been my prayer, honestly. I've been asked for a light mist for the last 3 miles, nice gust of cool wind,
Mhm.
overcast, and when I'm done, that's when the sun can shine.
Hey, Captain Smith, I got a couple questions.
Yes,
Wow.
sir.
So, two questions. So, what is the most enjoyable aspect of the flying marathon, flying pig half marathon or marathon, and what is the most challenging part of either the
The
half
most
or the full?
just with anything, if you're going to come to Cincinnati, I'll just say this: you get ready to run some hills. All right, so prepare that. The most enjoyable thing is honestly just seeing everybody out there. Everybody has that sense of accomplishment. You're going to have so much support along the way. The expo, and I got to make sure I remember to say this: do not miss the PNG Expo that is accompanied with the pig. That's where you pick up your packets, with your badge, your what am I trying to say? Your bibs and stuff. Packet pickup. Do not miss the expo. It is very nice. So much stuff. Bring an extra bag with you. Always have a bag with you at the end of every race here because Pig Works hooks it up. The most challenging thing, and you may have heard this before, but I think the most challenging thing with any race is the preparation for it. Your hardest at anything is preparing. Awards day is race day. So you get out there and you get your medal. Pick up your award, if you will. But I'll say the hardest part is preparing and getting out of your head. When you first just think about it like this. When you first start a run, and I still have to stop myself now. Every time you start, that adrenaline is so high and everybody takes off so fast.
Yep.
What you have to remember, especially for those longer runs,
Hmm.
you got to remember to pace yourself and slow down. And that was the other thing I messed up on this past Saturday. I was flying. I was front of the pack, running with a faster pace group. I'm just thinking, oh, I got this. These nice little people here, I got it. And I was good the first half. I was good. But that last part, mm-mm. I had to run through what's called the Devilish Hills of Eden Park. And I'm going to tell you, that is for part of the half. You're going to run through Eden Park and full. And I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of hills there. The overlook is nice, but it is some hills. But I'm not gonna complain because again, I was in Atlanta, and yeah, y'all got a lot there. I'm not gonna argue with
Yeah.
you down there in Atlanta.
Yeah, you don't
Holla, feel like
really experience hills until you get to Atlanta. 'Cause, yeah, Nashville, I thought it was some hills, and then yeah, Atlanta.
peak
Just
Yeah,
going
state.
for a walk. Just going for a walk in Atlanta, you'd be like, what the?
yeah. I thought that 5K was gonna be a piece of cake because I purposely signed. I purposely went from the 10K to the 5 because I'm like, all right, I'm in Atlanta. Life's been hard lately. I want to, have a little fun the night before, but not too much
Mhm.
and still be. You know how it is, brothers. You get
Yeah,
Mhm.
just
Oh
enough in so
yes,
you can do that 5K, right?
most
yeah,
definitely.
I didn't look. Somebody should have told the brother that y'all had heels. Like, I'm ready though. I'm coming back,
yeah.
Well,
and
see,
I'm
you in
I'm gonna handle
Cincinnati.
y'all
You
heels.
got hills in Cincy, so we know you're getting some hill work in. It's the brothers coming from these
Detroit.
flat cities. They don't have
Yeah.
no
Listen,
hills. They
be
get
ready, get ready. Have your water with you. I strongly recommend having your liquid IV with you as well. You're gonna need it.
Oh
sound
my
like
goodness.
it's gonna be a challenge, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. So they got a 5K, 10K,
1 mile.
and full. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
full and half on that Sunday. Then the 1 miler is on that Friday as well. And the 1 miler, you still get a medal, a shirt. I mean, you get all the fixes as if you ran a half marathon for that 1 miler. So definitely, if you haven't signed up, I mean, and that's a walk. Honestly, I don't do anything treacherous at all because I'm preparing my body and mind for that full. So, at the 1 miler is a walk. The 10K is a light jog. That 5K is a walk, and my brain is ready for the full. So.
What's the numbers for the full and the half? About how many do they usually get for the flying pig?
You know what? I know last year they had over 20,000
Okay,
runners overall.
that's a big race.
I'm gonna have to look this up, honestly. I don't want to make up numbers here, but I know they're in the thousands and they usually sell out towards the end. So I would have to do a Google search on that though. I don't know offhand.
But it sounds like at least 20,000 plus,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
which
hands
is
down.
a pretty big race.
Yeah,
Mhm.
since the pandemic, I've been talking to the president of our marathon here in Detroit, and the numbers all around the country have gone up drastically. People been getting into running marathons lately for their bucket list. So numbers probably there also, I'm sure, have just drastically have boomed up too.
That's pretty awesome.
All
And
right, so it
still
looks
you want
like
to
I'm
go.
looking at statistics here. The race has 40,000 plus total participants with an average of 21,000 participants on Sunday, and 20,000 for the events on Saturday.
Wow.
And just to go on, they have about 8,000 volunteers for this. Also, I do want to
Wow.
add there is the final mile, I guess the 25th mile or 26th, the final mile of it. There's a bunch of charities that do participate in there. I know some schools do that final mile as well as part of the race. There's also the flying fur. So on that Saturday, there's also a dog race as well. That's part of this race weekend as well. So yeah, it's something for everybody here, including the pets. I will not be bringing, and I did forget the disclaimer in case you all did hear this. I am the owner of a 107-pound pit boxer mix, and I just wouldn't take him. He's 12 years old now and kind of set in his ways. So yeah.
Hey, you see, JT, you could have brought my nephew Petey.
Petey is older than that. Petey is 16, man. He ain't about
Yeah.
to. He good.
They had a wheelchair division.
Petey be calling Lyft and Uber, man. All he does is sleep. That's all he does is sleep.
Yeah,
If
so
he
his
was
brother said
younger,
he's knocked out.
yes, he's over there asleep right now.
Yeah.
Surprised you don't hear him snoring, but that's great, man. This is gonna be a pretty awesome weekend. I really hate I'm gonna miss it. For all you guys out there who have not signed up for it or for going to Cincinnati, you're gonna sound like you're really gonna miss out on a really big weekend.
Yeah, and
Good time.
I haven't been racing lately. So this is gonna be my first one of the year, and actually my first trip going out of town for the year. And I was thinking about the other day, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. I need a break. I need to get, you know, connect with the guys. It's been a minute, so I haven't really done anything locally. So I'm anticipating. I cannot wait.
We'll get you lit. Don't worry, it'll be a good time.
Be awesome. We're talking about the Cincinnati Flying Pig, #2 regional race for Black Men Run, here with Cincinnati Captain Bryan Smith, National Vice Captain Darryell Randle out of the D, co-host Lucille Boyd out of the D.
I do have something to add. I'm sorry.
Bring it, man. What you got?
So, like I said earlier, this is our second event of the year, but there are 4 more events on our events calendar. So we have Grandma's Marathon in Duluth, Minnesota on June 22nd.
Yep.
And 2 of our events will be with one of our partners, Vacation Races.
Yes.
Mount Rainier Half Marathon and 5K at Ashford, Washington State, not DC, Washington State, July 19th through the 20th.
Seattle, Tacoma.
Yes. And
C-Tech,
then the second vacation race is in Shenandoah Half Marathon in Luray, Virginia on September 14th. So if you can't make it to the Flying Pit, there you go. I'll be there too. If you can't make it to the Flying Pit, guys, sign up for the others, 1 or 2.
Yes.
1 or whatever, but come out, travel if you can.
I wanted to do Mount Rainier too, but I got my family reunion, which is the week after that. So
I'll be at Shenandoah.
I'll see you at Shenandoah, Lou.
Oh, cool.
Bryan, are you attending any of the other regional races?
I'm really feeling the pressure here for Shenandoah. So
come through, brother. Come through.
Come on, get you one of those vacation races patches.
Yeah, all right, okay. At this point, because you know what, Brother Castle was talking to me about it too. All right, I'm just gonna. All right, I'll make it happen.
Hey.
I've already said it, so I gotta be a man of my word now. So all right,
that's it. Go book it.
You won't be disappointed. You will not be disappointed.
Hit us up right away, because if you're going to sign up,
April 30th, I believe, is my deadline, right?
No, but you're going to get taken care of in another way. So hit me up.
Okay.
Or I'll hit you up, let you know. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
And the last regional race we got is the Baltimore Running Festival in Baltimore, Maryland, October 19th.
Yes. So it's
Brother
5.
Maurice Jenkins. Maurice, shout out to you, bro. He's excited about hosting that event as well. So those are our 5 regional races. Number 1 was Selma to Montgomery, which we completed back in March. Had a great turnout. Each year we've had more and more BMR presence in Montgomery. So we're doing the thing. We'll get back to doing a national meetup at some point. Stay tuned. Question mark, question mark, question mark. That's all I got right now. So
that's brewing.
Right.
I wonder where. Where do y'all think it will be?
I think we should have it on the moon.
Hey, you know what? Let's just do it out on an island somewhere. Hell, why not?
Sir.
Hey, we'll take Hawaii. Let's do it.
Indeed. Bryan, so you've enjoyed so far, I'm sure, walking in these captain's shoes. Kind of a bit of a challenge, because at the same time, you're also kind of like the host of a regional meetup as well.
Yeah.
So
and training for a marathon.
Has that been a challenge for you, and doing a marathon?
Yeah. You know what? I never said this out loud, but maybe I like a challenge. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I like being busy. I don't know.
That's a lot going on. That's a lot going on.
It is, but it's manageable. And what good is it to kind of keep you accountable? I would say it's just a higher level of accountability. The fact of the matter is, not only I don't get the option of just laying around and doing nothing at this point. You know, it's other people that are relying on me to show up. And so if you can't show up for yourself, I can show up for others. And so let's make it happen, you know?
Right. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to see. Captains, take notes. Take note, captains. That's how you do it. This is how you do it. Lucia.
Hey, Bryan,
There
thank
you
you.
go.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being an impact amongst the brotherhood and influencing others to come down to your race. We're looking forward to seeing you all at the Flying Pig. I want you all in our listening audience to enjoy this show, this episode, and you can also go back to our previous episodes. And you all have just experienced the brotherhood.
Boom.
Ah.
All right.
Boom.
It's all right.
All right.